Welcome to Let's Fly VFR and letsflyvfr.com. Today we're going to go flying in the Barren. We're going to get some strong winds, some gusty winds and some turbulence, and see whether we can land this little beast. This is a lot of fun to fly, this big Barren. It's a bit of a bee to fly, especially if you let it get behind the power curve and get a little bit on the slow side. It will bite you if you're not careful with it, guys. So we're back out at Catalina Island again, doing this all in VR. If you haven't had a chance to get VR and give it a try, guys, I just absolutely highly recommend it. It is just amazing. So let's get going out here. See, Catalina Island, probably my last flight here. I need to find somewhere new to fly, but we've flown here the last few times. So we're going to do a couple of flights and circuits, landings with this Crosswind. Now it's coming from the left hand side. It's pretty strong at about 12 knots, gusting to about 15, and we've got some turbulence turn as well, so you can expect to get bounced around a little bit as we head on out. Nice blue sky today. But don't you love the way this thing moves around? You know, this is what it is with flight simulation. Is getting that realistic feeling that there is something happening. When you get into flight sims, let's talk about the old ones like FSX and even B3D, always felt to me very, very solid and on rails. So, and never really experienced this turbulence level. Maybe I just didn't turn it on, guys. That's always possible. But I see a lot of people flying. And there's never anything hard about it. They don't challenge themselves. And I think that's all part of the fun, is challenging yourself so that you can work on your flying skills and trying to deal with things like this. So the winds are pretty strong, the turbulence, and you would get a little bit of turbulence coming over the hills here. And I'm sure it would rotate around a little bit and stir you up a little bit. So keeping this steady, keeping the descent rate, as we come in from the land side, manage the power. It's pretty vicious. We've got nose pointing into the wind, trying to hold it up, and just catching a little bit there, a little bit onto the left wheel, to the right. It's not very good. You need to get the left wing down just a little bit, and get that left wheel in the ground. Wasn't very good, so we're going to keep going immediately. Not even going to try and stop there, because I reckon that could have been a bit of a disaster. So let's have another go and see how we go this time. Try and get it steadied up a little bit earlier. Manage the power and the speed. It does like to be around about that 100 knots on the way in. You get much under that and it starts to get a little bit of more angle of attack, even with the flaps, and becomes harder to maintain altitude. It really just starts to feel a bit more like a rock. So we've got this one lined up nicely, and we've got looking pretty good this time. A little bit steady, so you can see the left wing is down just a little, down into the wind, and just back on the power a little bit high. But you got to consider those trees on the way in, so we want to be able to get a nice visual point of reference down onto the touchdown point. Trying to keep that left wing down, so we touch the left side first, left wheel down first, followed by the right. That was still pretty solid, but I tell you, it feels so realistic. Get the brakes on, and we'll pull this up. Then we'll consider heading out again, I think. Now, I had a day like this flying Jabiru some years ago, and I went out on a Sunday at Gawler, and I jumped into the aircraft and we went flying. I went flying on my own, and the wind must have got up after I'd got up, and I was experiencing something very, very similar to these conditions. It was a real challenge to land it. I think I had about, I went out over the training area and flew for a while, just doing turns and a little bit of low flight and things like that in the Jab, and came back in, and I think I had 3 or 4 circuits, and it just, well, actually my hands were getting a bit sweaty on it. It was getting a bit stressful, so I had to take a break. Sometimes you just got to do that as we head back out. I think we're going back out over the sea again. We'll try this a couple more times. Now I've got the long easy as well. That's, I'm just really loving it, but it's such a challenge to see the difference in handling between aircraft. particularly in X-Plane 11, because I haven't flown anything else out for quite a while now. It's obviously been the sim of choice for me for the last few years. As we head out, we've got the sun there glaring, but I had to go out and give myself a little bit of a head break in that situation, and then come back in, and then I nailed the landing. I didn't nail it very well from memory, it was a while back now, but I got back on the ground safely. But I've got to say, I had to think about it a little while, and it really, with flying, it's all about confidence, and if you don't challenge yourself, you aren't going to get better. But you've got to be careful of your own personal limitations as well, whether it's sims or real world flying. So here we are on a right base. The airport is just over to the right there at the moment. It's a bit difficult to see, but it's the clearing just over there, about 45 degrees. Still getting bounced around pretty steadily here as we come back around. Now, if you guys have got any interesting places you think we should go flying, mountain locations are a lot of fun. If you've got somewhere that you think is an amazing place, just leave me a comment down the bottom, and maybe we'll go flying there and see how beautiful it looks. So getting it lined up here. You can see the model moving around quite a lot there. We got a red light and a white light, so we're right on glide slope, coming in over the edge of the little cliff there. Looking pretty nice, nose into the wind, coming from the right as we come in here. And get down pretty nice on that one. That was a really good run. Pretty happy with that one. So I think with that, we should go and maybe have a look a little bit later in the evening. Let's go out as it's getting a little bit dark and have a look at the lighting that's available as we taxi into the airport and leave the Baron behind. Doesn't it look great? So here we are out in my favourite aircraft. This thing is just a lot of fun. Still learning how to fly it. It's very, very different. It doesn't seem to want to take off, and then it does. And landing, getting that nice touchdown on the main wheels, and then sort of, I guess, fighter-like holding that nose off is proving to be something of a challenge. We get the speed up, and away we go. See how it just pops off there. It just sort of hangs there. You can have about half stick back on the elevator, and as I wind the wheels up there, just hit the wheels there down between your legs. There's a wind handle. Just click that with the controller. The beautiful sky, just on sunset. Amazing, just looking amazing. All default stuff. I haven't worried about any of the ortho scenery. I've just wanted to have a look again at the default scenery with an X-Plane, and hoping that we do get an upgrade, because obviously msf or Microsoft Flight Simulator is out now, and that looks really amazing. It does look amazing in the videos. I'm waiting still for VR. When there's a VR plug-in, then maybe I'll get it and we'll have a look at it. But at the moment, I can't see anything that compels me to go grab it. And Jim, if you're watching, I hear you. I hear it coming. I've had some fairly passionate comments in the last video about the wanting or not wanting to buy Microsoft Flight Simulator. So there we go. That worked out pretty well. It's pretty happy with that one. And just one more as it's getting a little bit darker and the sun dips below the waves in the distance. A little annoying that cursor's still sitting on the screen. Unfortunately, when you use the Oculus mirror, you can't see that if you happen to bump it up, unfortunately. But I wanted to leave it on, and I really enjoyed these flights. I found them amazing when I was doing this. So I thought, well, why not share it? Coming right in there nicely. Just got the nose up, holding the nose up as we come back in on the mains. And there we go. One of the better landings I've had in a while. So hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe, like, share if you would like, and I will catch you back here at Let's Fly VFR real soon for something more interesting in X-Plane 11.